It's crunch time. Time to get your lineup set. Hi, guys. Lauren Shehadi alongside, you know him, you love him, Scott White. How's that for an introduction?
It's great. I love it.
Thank you. Well, that introduction is not going to help your fantasy team. His advice is we're starting with the Cubbies kind of in a rut. They're changing things up a bit.
They are changing things up. The main move they're making is taking Kosuke Fukudome out of the lineup for a large portion of the time, replacing him with guys like Micah Hoffpower, Mike Fontenot, Reed Johnson. The guy with the most appeal of those three is Fontenot, who has a nice OPS for a second baseman, but until someone actually secures regular at-bats, you're probably just going to want to avoid the Cubs outfield altogether. It's pretty much Alfonso Soriano and everybody else.
Okay, well, we're starting with a rookie at first base in the National League, Joey Votto. He's beginning to show some power after hitting only 5 home runs June through August. He had 4 in September. Casey Kochman does not have a hot September.
Yeah, he's back from personal leave, but he's still not showing any power. Has only 4 extra base hits since July, which is just terrible for a first baseman.
Well, Dan Uggla showing signs of life again. Kelly Johnson, why are we benching him? He's had a great September, hasn't he, Scott?
He has. He's been a monster. But the thing about it is the Braves have only faced right-handed pitchers so far this month. They've faced 3 left-handers in the upcoming week, so you have to figure Johnson's probably going to lose some at-bats to Martin Prado.
Okay, at third base, struggling a little bit with an injury, Troy Glaus. Greg Dobbs not struggling one bit.
No, Dobbs isn't. He's not a guy you're going to want to start over someone like Gloss, obviously, but he's platooning with Pedro Feliz now, has a batting average just under 300 and decent power. So over these final 2 weeks, he's a guy worth starting in NL-only leagues.
Okay, at shortstop, we're going to bench Troy Tulowitzki. Miguel Tejada, though, starting at short.
Miguel Tejada isn't the obvious start he used to be, but he's the guy I want to start now because he's on a hitting streak, so why not?
Okay, also on a hitting streak, Elijah Dukes. He's on fire since May. Aaron Rowan hitting under 200 in September.
Yeah, his really bad average there in September, and he's also hitting under 240 since May. So I know he was a big breakout player last year, but those batting averages, he doesn't have nearly enough power to compensate for them.
Behind the plate, you don't like Chris Coast. He's only had 1 hit in the last 7 games. Plus, after getting off to a great start this season, he's hitting only 230 since May. You like Pablo Sandoval behind the plate.
Yeah, he's a 22-year-old. He's hitting really well right now. And he proved that his good fantasy work isn't necessarily dependent on a high batting average. He hit 260 over the last week, but was still the 6th highest scoring catcher in standard head-to-head leagues.
Pretty impressive. All right, American League on the other side. Stick around. Welcome back, guys. We're talking American League. Travis Hafner off the DL, had a couple hits against the O's. Looking good. Should you start him or sit him?
Well, the thing about him is in those 2 games he's played, he doesn't have a single extra base hit yet, and that's the kind of thing you're going to watch out for because he went down in the first place because of weakness in his shoulder. Then he had soreness in that shoulder in the minors, so who knows if he's actually healthy? Who knows if he's going to hit for power? You're probably better off just sticking with what you have at this point in the season.
Okay, first base, Lyle Overbay, an incredible second half. Only hit 6 in the first half, 8 home runs so far in the second. Ryan Garco not having the same effect in Cleveland.
Yeah, Garco's played on and off a good bit this season, and now he's going to lose more at-bats with the Indians trying to get both Victor Martinez and Kelly Shopik, 2 catchers, into the lineup.
Okay, for second base, you have Juan Uribe.
Yeah, I do have Juan Uribe. He's taken over for Joe Crede as the White Sox everyday third baseman, qualifies at second base in fantasy still, has good power for that position. And the guy I'm sitting there is going to be Sean Figgins, just because he got hit by a pitch in the right elbow Monday. He's had trouble throwing, had trouble swinging the bat since then. He's pretty much a burner at this point in his career, not doing much hitting lately. Probably not worth starting right with those injury concerns.
Okay, at third, you're starting Mike Lowell, coming off the DL, having a hot bat, 2 home runs. He began the second half cold, not anymore. Evan Longoria still hasn't seen any action. We're waiting for that.
Right, he's off the DL, but he hasn't gotten in the lineup yet. The Rays are talking about putting him in possibly this weekend, but even then there's no guarantee how often he's going to play. So they're clearly playing it safe with him. Unless he just gets back and totally sets the world on fire, you should probably play it safe and keep a potentially part-time player inactive.
Okay, at shortstop, Brandon Wood, you have him starting. He's a power prospect. He might finally be catching on in the majors. Scott, Alexi Ramirez struggling in September.
Yeah, that's September slump he's on right now, has his batting average below 300 for the first time since before the All-Star break. And since he doesn't walk at all, if he's not hitting, there's not really any stats you can expect him to give you.
You're talking about struggling with a batting average, Jason Varitek behind the plate. You have him sitting, Deoner Navarro on the upswing.
Yeah, he's back playing at an all-star level after hitting under 200 in August. He's hitting right around 400 in September, worth starting again.
Okay, not worth starting in the outfield, Hideki Matsui. He says his sore knee is not bothering him, but he's hitting about 240 since his return from the DL. Nelson Cruz, nothing's bothering him.
Yeah, Cruz is a guy who'd been labeled a quadruple A player over the last few years of his career, but he's starting to finally translate his minor league numbers to the majors. He's homering at a pace kind of like we saw with another Rangers rookie, Chris Davis, upon his call-up.
Okay, we're in the home stretch. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.